What's up guys, Rand Razor here with another tech video for you guys today. And today we're going to check out the Speck Smartshell case for the all-new 2016 MacBook Pros. So of course without further ado, let's slice this open, slap it on the MacBook, and give you guys my quick in-depth review. So Speck has finally brought out their cases for the all-new Touch Bar MacBook Pros. The case does come in three different colors. We have an onyx black here. It's also available in turquoise as well as a clear. So the case comes in your traditional Speck cardboard packaging here. Very easy to open. You just slide it out. And the first thing that we get is the top lid portion. And lastly, the bottom piece. So taking a quick look at the case here before we slap it on the MacBook, Speck has made a few changes to the cases for the all-new line of MacBooks. First off, looks like Speck has done away with that rubberized coating that was featured on their Satin series cases in the previous generation case. That finish was notorious for peeling and scratching off pretty easily, so Speck has now introduced this matte finish that is directly on the plastic here that is much more scratch resistant and won't peel off. In addition, the interior part of the case here has also changed from a glossy finish to a matte finish. This is much better as glossy finishes tend to attract dust, debris, and dirt more than matte finishes. And because it's a matte finish, it's also more scratch resistant, so when you're taking your MacBook in and out, it's less prone to scratching up. But anyways, let's slap this on the MacBook and see what it looks like. Alright, so we're going to install the top lid first. And last but not least is the bottom part here, and there's only 4 clips that hold it in place, 2 on the side here and 2 on the other side. And once you're done, this should be your end result. So this is pretty much what the onyx black looks like. You can still make out the Apple logo just a little bit. It's hard to tell in the video, but you can still see it. Unfortunately, these MacBooks don't light them up anymore, but it is there. And here's a closer look at the thickness of this case, and the best way I could describe it is for those of you who came from the previous generation MacBook, this case kind of makes it feel like the thickness of that MacBook. Anyways, taking a quick overview of this case and what it has to offer, starting off with the top here. The entire lid does feature a nice scratch-resistant matte finish, so it's the Speck logo on the bottom corner. And one unique feature to the Speck case is that they actually give you a bit of hinge protection built on the lid here. Taking a look at the bottom part of the case here, we do have 4 built-in rubber feet, a bunch of cutouts for the intake vents, the Speck logo engraved in the center. There is of course cutouts for your USB-C ports and headphone jack on both sides. And lastly, on the back part of the case here, we do have a large cutout for the hinge so the MacBook can ventilate. And speaking about ventilation, you guys probably noticed that there's no cutouts on the bottom part of the case here, and that's actually a good thing because it means you're less likely to have dust, debris, and dirt get in between the case and the MacBook. And I'm sure some of you guys are probably wondering, well, how is the MacBook going to cool itself? Now keep in mind, the MacBook is designed to cool itself by taking in cold air from the intake vents on the side and blowing out the hot air through the hinge. Although some of the heat does dissipate through the body, it's not specifically designed to do that in terms of primary cooling. So unless you're running a lot of intensive applications where it's going to hit the GPU and CPU really hard, you're probably not going to worry too much about heat in terms of everyday usage with a case on. Take a look at the inside part of the case here. You guys can see the Speck case does surround pretty much the entire border of the screen as well as the bottom part of the case. And you can also get an idea of how thick this case is by looking at the edges of the MacBook. Although there is a clear distinct border around the screen as well as the bottom part of the case here, it doesn't interfere with any parts of the MacBook in terms of opening it, closing it, or using your computer from the trackpad to the keyboard. Overall guys, some initial impressions on the Speck Smartshell case for the all-new 2016 MacBook Pros is fairly positive. The onyx black certainly stands out next to the space gray model. And you can still make out the Apple logo for those of you who want to still see it as a MacBook. The fit of the case seems to be spot on as I don't see any loose or flimsy pieces. That being said, although I wouldn't worry about the case popping off on its own or anything, I do notice that the top lid here does have quite a bit of give to it. And overall, Speck has done a pretty good job at designing their first generation case for the all-new 2016 MacBook. In terms of any cons or things I don't like about this case, in comparison to the Moshi case I recently reviewed, the Speck one is a little bit thicker, where I want to say it's almost twice as thick. That being said, Speck did design this case to have impact protection, and therefore with a thicker case, it's going to have better protection than the Moshi one. The only other thing I want to mention is the clear model is only available for the 13-inch model, so hopefully Speck will bring that clear model for us 15-inch users who want to show off our silver or space gray colors. In conclusion, guys, for those who are looking for an impact protective case for your all-new 2016 MacBook Pro, you definitely can't go wrong with the Speck Smartshell case. Anyways, thanks for watching, guys. Hope you all enjoyed the video, and if you have any questions or comments about this case, ask away in the comment section there down below. Hit that like button, as always helps me out, and I'll see you all in the next video.